Types of rocks. Now, my class should know this inside out. We've talked about this morning already, but I'm looking for somebody to tell me the 3 types of rocks. Name one. Sedimentary rock, metamorphic rock, and igneous rock. So one of these 3 tables is metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary. And you have to figure out what that is when you get there. Over on this side, you have Starburst candy. You're going to take, we have enough for 3 pieces. You need 3 pieces each. You'll take it out of the wrapper, put the wrapper in the garbage can, of course. You will take the 3 pieces and you're going to squish it together. And that is going to represent a type of rock. Don't say anything. Just keep it in your brain. That represents one type of rock. Back here behind me is another type of rock that started out hard this morning and is now in a liquid form. And then it's going to harden again. You need to decide what kind of rock that's going to be. Over here on the side, you're going to get 2 crackers, some cheese whiz, and you're going to mush it together in your hand and make a little round ball. That's going to represent another type of rock. How many Starbursts do you get?
3.
How many crackers?
2.
Right. Either myself, Mr. Dunn, or this. That's good. Just checking to see if everybody remembered. My class remembers. That's good. One of us will be at one of the stations and we will help explain to you what to do, just in case you forget. All right. On this piece of paper, there it says experiment 1, experiment 2, experiment 3. Then it talks about predicting the actual procedure and then your conclusion. Predicting means that you're basically going to make a guess as to what kind of rock you think it is. You're going to describe the details. How did you form that rock? Well, this is pretty easy. If you're talking about Starburst, right, the procedure would be put 3 Starbursts in my hand and squish it together. And then you're going to tell me in your conclusion, was your hypothesis correct? What did you think up here? Is it correct? And you will describe down here. Did you feel your prediction was correct? And explain. What does it mean when I put the word explain in there, Jordan? What does it mean if I ask you to explain your hypothesis? What am I looking for, Spencer? Okay, you're going to explain to me why is your prediction correct from above and how you know you were right.
Young man with the orange shirt on. What are you doing here?
We are putting crackers and crumpling them up into a little ball with cheese whiz. I think this is.
What are you making? Are you making like turtles?
Sedimentary.
Oh, you're making rocks.
Yeah, rocks.
And what kind of rock do you think it is?
Sedimentary.
Why do you think that?
Because we're squishing all these pieces of cracker and cheese.
Oh, so the cracker's kind of acting like sediment?
Yeah.
And you're smushing them together? That's a very good answer, Mr. Man in the orange shirt. Very good.
I have an idea.
Oh, I think you have to smush it a little bit more.
Like this.
Awesome. Now, I did hear that when we talked about it, there's a lot of you thought that it was a sedimentary rock.
It is.
What do you think about being a sedimentary, or how are you putting those candies together?
I think it's a thing because
Oh, just a sec, we have a volunteer. So if we're squishing together, what are we applying to it?
the materials that over time eventually get squished together to make it sedimentary.
Okay, but what are you applying to it right now? I'm not convinced that it's a sedimentary rock.
Pressure.
Pressure. So if you apply pressure, what kind of rock might you be forming? Oh! Did everybody hear what this young man said? Go ahead and tell us again, young man. What type of rock do you think you're making?
Metamorphic.
Oh, he says metamorphic. Why do you say metamorphic?
Metamorphic means morphic. It has morphic in the
I think half the table didn't hear you, so I think half the table might have the wrong answer. This gentleman said that it's a metamorphic rock because to morph something means to change. And you're changing this into a rock using pressure. I know. Push it right up. Hi, boys and girls.
Hi, this is our ball.
I'm back. I've heard lots of people say that it was a metamorphic rock. It's not looking like a metamorphic rock to
No,
me.
it looks like crap.
It probably feels like that as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is?
I don't know.
Are you sure? So igneous is formed by heat, right? Are you applying heat to these rocks? No. What are you doing here? You're kind of grinding up sediment? So if you're grinding up sediment, what kind of rock are you having? Sedimentary rocks, right. Right. He's up. Oh, he's good. Nick, what do you think you're making? What kind of rock?
I'll say like sedimentary.
Ah, why do you think so? You think it's a sedimentary? All right, I want you to listen to something really key. If you have sedimentary, do we have heat?
No.
What do we have here?
Metamorphic?
I'm asking you what do we have here. How is this rock being formed? It's being heated up and then what?
Float out.
So it's heated up and cooled down. So what kind of rock heats up and then curves? Right, right. Very good. Now you're not washing your hands yet. You gotta make sure you wait from there and then we'll let you go.
Now, what are you thinking? Metamorphic or igneous? What do you think? Igneous. Ooh, we're changing our minds. And how about you guys right here?
Metamorphic.
You're all metamorphic. And you're igneous? Okay. So the way I see it is that we got about 4 against, I don't know, 20.
So there's a few of you said that it was a metamorphic rock.
There's a good answer right here, Mr. Dunn.
Tell
Why
me.
metamorphic?
Why is it metamorphic?
It's metamorphic because morph means to change.
Very good. So I want you to think something about here though, right? You see what Mr. Grace is doing there? What is he doing with the rocks?
Look at his big spoon.
No.
Change
How is he changing it?
it. From making the chocolate go from solid to liquid.
How does he do that?
By
What does he
heating
use?
up and melting
Oh,
it.
so
But I had to heat it,
he
right?
had to heat it, right? How's that rock forming there, my young lady? What's it doing to get it? Is it still totally liquid or what is it doing?
It's hardening up back
Ah,
again.
so it's heated up and it's cooled down. What rock heats up and cools down? Try again. Igneous. Now,
Right.
you're not totally wrong when you say that metamorphic does that. But the big thing about metamorphic rocks is that the pressure is what makes that change. Here, what happens is because the heat cools it down, and that's how we get the change. But that's very good thinking. Very good thinking.
I like that.
Boys and girls, what are we doing here?
Smushing slurpers together.
You're smushing Starburst together. Why?
Trying to make a rock.
You're making a what? Oh, very interesting. I'll ask you what type of rock you have later on. What do you predict it to be?
I think it's sedimentary.
Some people are thinking sedimentary. Anybody else think something different? Oh, somebody's saying metamorphic. Interesting. All right, you can get to work. I'll come back and I'll ask you after you get your first couple of questions down. Boys and Very girls, good. What are you doing here? You making balloons? You're making balloons? Can I have some help there, Miss Lady?
We're making
You're making rocks. And what, at this station, what kind of rock are you making?
something wrong.
A chocolate rock. So I look over here and I see that Mr. Graves has heated up some chocolate, and he's pouring them out into some little cupcake holders, and they're cooling down. What kind of rock do you get when you heat something up and let it cool down? What would? Let's see who's predicting what. How many people think it's a sedimentary rock? Nobody. How many think it's a metamorphic rock? Oh, about half of you. And how many people think it's an igneous rock? 50-50, I'll be back. You should discuss amongst yourselves what you think it is. But remember, there's a key thing. There's 2 words I used here to help you figure it out. Don't eat the evidence, Mr. Grace. Boys and girls, what are we doing here? Who wants to volunteer and tell us what we're doing here? What are we doing here, young lady?
Well, we're gonna guess what type of rock this is gonna be.
Oh, you're making rocks?
Yep.
Whoa.
When we're making our rock, we're gonna take the cheese. We're making rocks out of food, so the cheese whiz and the crackers.
Oh, crackers.
Cheese whiz crackers and a spoonful of cheese whiz, and we're gonna mash them together.
Oh, so what do you...
So basically two different types of rocks being squished together.
Oh, so what do you predict this rock will be? What do you think this rock will be?
This one was igneous.
Igneous. Interesting, all right? You need to explain why you think that's igneous. And remember what an igneous rock is. What do you think it might be? Okay, I'll let... Marcus, what do you think this type of rock is going to be? Any guess at all?
Igneous.
Igneous.
Sedimentary.
Sedimentary. Very, very good.